You know?
Yeah. Like many people cancer.
Depends on what you do by mini. But we can't grow. So we probably had 30. Maybe. Huh?
But that's a bigger number than what it was.
Well, there was a lot that kind of came on at once.
Yeah.
It slowed down. I get like 1 to 2 a day right now. I say 30 anyway. No. No. So it's probably about 217. So about 20 something. 3 from 4.
You sleeping in here? What's going on with that? Can I come sleep in here?
Yeah, I'm sleeping here. What's up, Robert Frazier? Hey, you guys can take yourself off mute if you want.
Okay.
Oh, Robbie.
Change your picture, dude.
Turn your video on.
Well, this is my work computer, so like when I'm doing work actually. So.
Oh, you're working. You're just watching.
No. So this is my like work Zoom. So I keep it on there so I can actually do work during the meetings.
I gotcha. See, the Bezeranos have joined us. Is that a bunny rabbit? I'm gonna unmute you, Ashley.
Yeah, lucky.
You're good.
Honey.
What's that? Yeah, the clean stuff, the green stuff. What's up? Where's that bunny rabbit?
I put him away so I can do jiu-jitsu.
Boom.
Boom. You want to see a turtle?
Why not? Whoa. Oh, wow. That's impressive.
Yeah, it's my turtle.
Highlights on. All right, so as this fills up, we may have some kids from the teen class joining us, so we'll have to keep the inside jokes to a minimum.
Copy.
You know what I'm saying? Roger, Roger.
Roger, Roger.
Austin's on. Cool. Oh, you picking your nose? Huh? No? Hey, Tai.
Hey.
What's up, buddy? Cool. We'll get started in just a few minutes. Hey, is the music bothering you guys in the background? Can anyone hear the music?
No.
Okay. Josh and I are playing R&B love songs while we're up here alone.
Sounds like a regular Monday thing too.
Yeah. What did I say about the jokes? Keep the jokes clean.
Big 90s R&B.
Yeah. But I don't know how I can just see Lane. I got like everybody else. Johnny Case.
J.O., is that you? What's going on?
Can you see Lane yours? Okay, I'm gonna end.
No, leave them both.
Okay.
It's better. Oh, what's up, bro?
Now we have. Armando, you and Ashley have 2 phones put together?
Yeah.
That's the alarm sound.
Oh, I had muted one.
Should be better now.
Cool.
John's got that nice setup in his backyard. Hey, Carrie.
Mm. I just don't know how many. I guess we'll. No. I need to make. You need to make it big. Lainey. Oh no, where I am. Stuck.
Hugo Boss is on the line. I wonder who that is. Hugo Boss will not show himself. All right, everybody can hear me okay, right? I didn't hear anybody say yes.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Let's test this out. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Cool. Oh, this guy's here too. Josh, say what's up.
Hi, everybody.
This creeper hunted me down just so he could get a free roll out of me or something.
Love it.
All right. Let me see. Okay. I got to be able to see myself here. Oh, who's got the arm in you rash guard on? Yeah, Bruce. I love it. All right. Jake's on. Here we go. All right. I'm trying to make sure. Sorry, I'm trying to get this set up so I can see myself on here so I know that I'm in the screen. So be patient with me just for a second. All right, that might be as good as I'm going to get today. John, taking good care of that dummy I see.
Oh, this thing's nice.
That's jealous?
Oh.
All right, there we go. I got it. I did something. I'm a tech wizard, y'all. All right, well, hey, thanks for joining us. I figure we can use this opportunity to really drill down deep on some details that probably often I ignore when it comes to movement patterns, just because when you do something every day, like most of the movement stuff that we do every day, you do through warm-ups, and you really don't think too much about it. You're not really thinking about what you're doing. You're just kind of going through the motions of doing it. So one thing that I've done is I've started going through the John Danaher solo drill series. And since he likes to talk for like 30 minutes and then do 25 minutes of instruction, I figured I'd kind of hack that series for you. And what it's going to do is it's going to, one, give you something to do when you're injured and you can't make it in the gym. And there's some, once we start putting the flow drills together, it'll be like a good recovery day workout for you just to get your body moving and keep it limber. But also, I think technically it can make your jiu-jitsu better as well, okay? The first thing that we're going to start with is the bridging position, right? Everybody knows how to bridge or has an idea of how to bridge. We're going to go into a little more detail with it right now. The typical bridge, let's go through a couple of bridging options, right? The bridge in wrestling, for example, you're going up onto your squat. Okay. You're going up onto your neck a lot, primarily to keep your shoulders off the ground so you don't get pinned. I do use that bridge in jiu-jitsu, but I use it for an escape that we're going to look at a little bit later. All right, but the typical bridge in jiu-jitsu is more of a shoulder bridge. The wrestling bridge is straight up, right? You're trying to get both shoulders off the ground. Jiu-jitsu bridge is more of an angle. So when I'm jiu-jitsu, I'm still putting my feet underneath me and pushing my hips straight up onto my shoulders. I'm going to angle my hips in the direction that I want to push. Right, so I'm going to move more like this with my bridge. Okay, so I'm rolling up onto a shoulder, not onto my shoulders. Okay, so I'm angling right away, stepping over, coming up to the knee. Right, a lot of people roll the belly. That's wrong. We want to be on the knees. We want to be in a position where we can fight. So let me show you that bridge again. Right, I'm pointing my knee out in the direction that I want to go. Okay, I'm angling my hips and I'm turning my head to look. I don't know if you guys can see me. Angling and turning my head to look so that I'm up on my shoulder. Okay. Now, push initially is going to start with my right leg. And then my left leg is going to take over. And my right comes over the top, just like that. Right? All right. So if you got a second, I just want you to do that a few times. And let's add this one first before we do that one, and I'll explain the different scenarios that I use each of them in. Let's add the one with the head pendulum as well. So the thing I like to do, particularly when mounted, if I'm doing the bump and roll, is I like to do the head pendulum bridge. So we've got this bridge, which is more over the shoulder. Now the head pendulum is I'm moving my head off the center line a little bit. Okay. Now I'm redirecting my hips to the same bridge from here. Redirecting my hips up, rotating over, always keeping my arms tight. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and work on that. I'm going to take a look and see how everybody's doing, and then we'll talk about the practical application of those bridges. Ashley, you landed on your belly.
He said not.
I know. I cracked my neck.
Worst student ever.
I cracked my neck.
Why are you guys on 2 of my videos? You're so selfish.
Well, I want to be able to see everybody and then just you.
Oh.
So sorry.
John, you're terrible. Terrible.
Practice.
We're building confidence today, y'all. Hey, remember, Dylai, Austin, and Jake, if you want to turn your videos on, you can turn your videos on. If not, I understand. Hey, Mr. Dylai. All right, cool. All right, break. Okay, good. Pretty simple stuff for most of us who've been training a while. Most of you guys do have a good bit of experience. Let's talk about how we use those in a more practical situation, right? So the bump and roll, you've taken too many classes. Did Josh come over here and get on top? When we're doing the jiu-jitsu bridge, can they see my head there, Josh? Yes. Okay. When we're doing the jiu-jitsu bridge, right, we go to the side because we're looking to displace the weight. We're not looking to lift the weight. That's a no-no. In fact, if my hips go up, I can lock his feet in underneath my back, and then now my hips are stuck. So move this way, Josh. If my hips come straight up, he locks his feet underneath. Now I'm kind of stuck, and now my bridge is worthless. right? So when I do my bridge in jiu-jitsu, whether I'm doing an elbow escape or whether I'm doing my bump and roll, right, I always want to direct his weight. You see how I'm redirecting his body? Right? Now try to lock your feet up underneath the jaw. Much more difficult because my hips are at an angle. Go straight up, he crosses his feet, I'm stuck. Okay? If I redirect the weight and he goes to cross his feet, it's much more difficult. He can grapevine me a little bit, but my hips are tilted. Right? So get up for a second. My hips are tilted this way, so he has a tough time kind of locking me down the way that he did earlier. Right? So again, we never want to lift the weight. We don't want to carry our opponent's weight. That's inefficient. We're looking to redirect his weight. Right? So when I do the bump and roll, and we'll come back to that later when we get to the shrimping. But when I do the bump and roll, okay, I like to add the head swivel. Can they see my head up there? Okay. I like to add the head swivel, right? Because if I'm here, let's say I trap his arm, however, whether it's here on my neck or however I want to trap it. Okay. Got the in. Okay. But a lot of times you'll see people bump straight up and then try to roll over. So if I do that, then he goes to hand and he's able to straighten his arm and use his skeletal strength to defend. Okay. Now, even if I bump at an angle, go ahead. Post, it's still difficult for me to work. When I'm doing my bridging alone, I not only do kind of the angle bridge that we were talking about, but I also add a head swivel or a pendulum bridge that I like. So when I pendulum like this, and I bump him up and he posts that, you see how his elbow bends? Before, the angle was such that he could use his skeletal strength and block. What I mean by skeletal strength, his arm is locked out, right? As soon as I can change the angle just a little bit by swiveling my head, it creates this break in the elbow. Now he's using his muscular strength. So eventually the elbow breaks down, hits the floor, and I'm able to roll him over. Okay? So again. Here, I trap the arm, I pendulum my head, okay? And I bump. Elbow bends, I know I've got it. Come up on my knees, and I work to pass the guard. Let's go ahead and work that for a few minutes. Blair.
Blair?
Where's Blair?
Blair?
What's up, man? I can only see your lips moving, so I'm having audio issues. I can't really hear you.
Can't hear me either? Aren't you a tech guy? All right. So does anybody have any questions on how that works? Are you having trouble? It's a pretty simple concept, but like all concepts in jiu-jitsu, it's very difficult to do when, you know, somebody's going at you 100%. It's very difficult to remember. So you've got to be able to mix that in. So when you're doing butt drills and you're working on your bridging, you're pointing your legs out, you're bridging maybe to your elbow escape or whatever, and you're bridging, thinking about trapping the arm and bridging. Every time I'm mock trapping the arm and bridge, I want to pendulum the head and come up to my knees. Okay? Another bridge that we'll use before we get into side control, because I'm going to count that as more of a shrimping technique. But another time we might bridge is when we're moving away from our opponent. Right? So if Josh is trying to hold me down in side control here, and I feel a moment where I need to turn, and I can't regard, right, for whatever reason. And I'm going to need to turn to my left or away from Josh. Go back a little bit, Josh. I can use my bridge here to turn, but it's very important that I keep my elbow to my hip, right? So I'm using my bridge here. I'm turning to turtle, but I'm locking that elbow down to my hip, okay? So if I'm this way, and Josh was here, right, and he kind of hasn't settled, a lot of you guys push away with your arms and create too much space and leave the arm bar here. I still need to keep my arms tight, right, bridge away, but as I turn through and finish my bridge, this elbow needs to come to my hip like this. Back a little bit. So my elbow is right here. Then I come up to my knees. That's protecting for somebody taking the bat. So if I don't do that, if I just turn, bump my hips away, and turn and come up to my knees, Josh is going to get this trailing hook in. Right? And then he's going to take my back. Again. So if I don't bring the elbow down, and I'm here, and I turn away, a lot of people post on this elbow like this to get away. He slides his knee right here in between my ribs. Right? And then as soon as I come up, he's got one hook in. I may even get to my knees. And now if you got like Armando climbing on your back, play whatever little games you like to play from there. All right? Ashley's the only one that laughs.
Because I know.
I know you know. All right, so do it again. Let's bridge and elbow to the hip. Okay? Blair's got kinks in there too. Who's the person with the paper sack over their head? It's probably Tommy, yeah. Ashley, Armando, do you notice I got Everlast on?
I can't hear your music.
Ah, all right.
But I bet you do. Oh.
Good. All right, so we have 3 types of bridging, right? So far, we have 3 types of bridging. We have just the basic bridge where we're redirecting our hips to go this way because we want to move his, redirect his weight, not push against it, right? And up on the shoulder and bridging over, okay? We've got a similar variation to that. We're bridging up and we're keeping our elbow tight, right? Pushing off, coming over. And then we've got the pendulum bridge. Where we're moving the head, rocking up, turning over. All right. Now, the only time I use the wrestling bridge, not that it's not effective in the other way, I know Sean uses it a lot, I'm sure Armando does too. The only time I personally use the wrestling bridge is to escape arm locks. One, because my shoulder isn't flexible enough to do this without escape. I get caught a lot if I try to do it that way. So I use the wrestling bridge on my head to do the thumb out just to create a higher leverage point for my shoulder so I have more room and more time to move. Okay? So if you all are familiar with the thumb out escape, Josh, come here, take an arm lock. Sometimes you're here, right? You know they're going to get the arm. and you're kind of fighting, right? If I wait too long and he takes the arm lock, he's going to seal it up and it's a done deal. Okay. So the conventional thumb out escape is kind of a timing drill. Like I need to start my thumb out right here. As soon as my hand breaks contact with my other hand. I can't do this and wait and do this, wait, and then try to go. It's too late. Okay. So I got to know it's over and I got to get into that early, right? I would already rather have a grip like this protecting my arm, but that's already broken down and I'm left with this. Okay. So a conventional one would be rotating on the shoulder. Now, Josh goes nice and slow. I have time and space to do that. The problem is where I usually get caught here is when I go and Josh goes to pull the arm, my shoulder is already tight and extended, right? So if I pull through here, I'm probably going to be a little sore the next day. Okay. Now, what I like to do then is I like to use my wrestling bridge just to create a higher lever point on my shoulder. So as he pulls, right, I come up, and you see how much more clearance I have there to get my shoulder free and through? Watch the level of my shoulder on these variations, right? So I'm here, right? If I go with the traditional one, I'm here. My shoulder is about at his hip, okay? If I go up onto my head, my shoulder comes more up by the knees, and I'm able to get around. So again, he's got the arm lock here, okay? And I'm just turning away like this. You can see the height of my shoulder. It's not very high, right? Now as I bridge, I bridge up, my shoulder's much higher. It creates a lot more clearance for my arm to get through. All right, so let's play around with that for a few minutes and then we'll move on to a couple of shrimping options. Who's at the beach? Robbie. I was playing around with that virtual background with this picture behind me, and it looks like one of those old school rap videos where they're like floating over the city and talking, you know, kind of all fuzzy around my head.
Yeah, there's been a lot of mind meetings. A lot of people have been playing with all the virtual ones, but none of them look good except for like the actual like.
Yeah. Your regular pictures don't look good. The ones from the system look pretty good.
The default ones look.
What's that?
The default ones are the other ones look good, like the beach or the other ones.
Yeah. All right, cool. Good job. Okay, let's move on to two types of shrimping, right? We're going to talk about a sliding shrimp and a power shrimp. So let's talk about the power shrimp first because it kind of fits into this bridging section. The power shrimp is basically part bridge, part shrimp. And again, I'm redirecting my weight to the side, right? And now I'm rolling my shoulder over my other shoulder. So my chest is facing the mat and my hips are moving back to about a 90-degree angle. Again. So I'm redirecting my knees and bumping up here. My shoulder is rolling over my bottom shoulder, and my hips are shooting out. So my feet and my shoulder should be the only thing touching the ground. Also note that my elbow is connected here to my knee when I'm finished. Okay, and it's probably even a good practice to bring your hands in front of your shin as if you're passing a leg. Bump, shrimp, elbows in. Bump, shoulder over, shrimp, elbows in. Okay. Now, that's the power shrimp, okay? Most of the shrimps that you see in class, a lot of people do something like this, where their butt's kind of on the floor, and they're kind of sliding across. That's a sliding shrimp, okay? Now, what you can't see there is that maybe just the cloth of my shorts, my shoulders and feet are still primarily my points on the ground, right? My cloth is kind of dragging along the ground, but I try not to get the friction of my butt in the way, okay? So when I'm doing a sliding shrimp, I'm here, right? You can't really see it, but this is all kind of elevated still. Okay, I just don't have the bump in front. My top shoulder is still over my bottom shoulder, and I'm still connecting my knee and my elbow. And my hips are still coming back to about a 90-degree angle. Arms in nice and tight. Okay. Let's work on those. Just do a few of the power shrimps and a few of the sliding shrimps. And then we'll talk about, I think you guys know some of the practical applications of those, but I want to talk a little more deeply about it. Hector with the sack over his head. Probably sure I had the video climb. It's good, good. All right, so if you have a partner, the practical application of those is relatively straightforward for most of us, right? One, we use the power shrimp, the elbow escape. Let's get back down this way a little bit. Okay, we use the power shrimp for the elbow escape, right? It starts like a bump, except for instead of wrapping the arm, right, I'm building a frame on his thigh, either with my hands here or with my palms here. If my elbow goes out, this is a real problem because Josh is going to scoop underneath that, start walking it toward my head, and now I'm all stretched out, and that creates a lot of problems for me. Now, if I shrimp like the way most people shrimp in class, keep your knees a little tight, Josh. If I just start shrimping like this, I'm not going anywhere. He's staying right on top of me. So I'm going to need to use my power shrimp here. So I'm going to need to come here, right? And I need to redirect his weight away. Okay. So now, you see that his back leg is off the floor? That allows me, when I shrimp out, to create space here for my knee to come through. Okay. If I just shrimp up here like this, or if I just bump straight up, and even if he doesn't lock his feet behind me, and do not lock your feet behind me, and I try to shrimp out, it's still really tough. Okay. What I do when I change the angle on the shrimp and I power shrimp is I create like a tilt. You see the tilt that he has and the way his weight's directed? This leg is on the floor and this leg is super light. My hips being at this angle allow me to push the leg here and bring this knee in. Readjust, Josh. All right. Once that knee is in, of course, I work to work it out. to here, push the other leg through, and then do a sliding shrimp finish. All right, so turn on again. So I'm here. Power shrimp. Up. Right, I've got my frame. Shrimping out. Here. Josh, readjust. I'm here. Now I've got the underhook on this side. I don't need another power shrimp, right? I can just use a sliding shrimp. Here, knee through, put into position, and then I use the sliding shrimp again to close my guard. So I'm not sure anybody's ever really broken it down for you that way. I know my 20-some years of jiu-jitsu, like, nobody's ever really made that distinction for me. But I thought that was a pretty important distinction to make. Okay? The difference between the power shrimp and the sliding shrimp. Right? Now, the way I also use the power shrimp is probably the most common way I escape mount, is using it off the bump. So I trap, I pendulum my head, and for whatever reason, Josh just doesn't go over. I'm here, right? So this is basically a power shrimp, right? So now I switch, and I come in here. Now I go sliding shrimp. Here, sliding shrimp. Here, all right? Got a partner? Play around with those. If you don't have a partner, just imagine a partner, right? So something we need to get to in these solo drills is thinking about like a good shadow boxer, boxing or kickboxing. They're visualizing an opponent. They're seeing that they're not just throwing mindless combinations. They're seeing combinations coming at them and they're reacting to them. That's what I want you to start thinking about when you're doing these drills alone, that you have an invisible opponent on top of you. You're not just doing mindless moves. It's somebody with weight, who's strong, and you're trying to get out. So do the technique right so you can get out. By the way, I don't know if anybody noticed the new shorts are in. They're slightly longer than the other ones. So for those of you who don't have legs like mine who want to cover them up, they're available in the Army News shop, delivered by pigeon. Thank you, Ashley. Blair's laughing. He's just on mute. Miss you, man.
Man, I miss everyone too, man. It's crazy that this brings us together, huh?
You know,
Love you, Blair.
Love you too.
there is something a little creepy about seeing Ashley and Armando doing jiu-jitsu in the bedroom. I feel a little,
Laney.
oh, just, I didn't even make you guys sign a waiver. Austin, Jake, Hector, you guys getting any of this? Can you hear me? I'm gonna unmute you guys. You guys can refuse it if you want.
Salty to your sweet. Come up and grab a pinch now. Lime salt, lemon salt.
Okay, that's why somebody's on mute.
Yeah, someone needs to be muted.
Jake's watching TV. I get it. You don't want your wife to know you're watching jiu-jitsu videos on your break. Okay, good. Does anybody have any questions so far?
No.
I see none. Right, pretty simple, but I think pretty informative too. You know, it's fun to sometimes learn a whole different game, but the times when I've gotten the best at jiu-jitsu and made my biggest jumps is when I just honed in on my details. You know, when I hone in on those little things that make a big difference. Now let's talk about the sliding shrimp and the power shrimp from side control, okay? Really doesn't change things that much. But, you know, I do want to point out a few things here, okay? So, All right. So obviously we're here, right? We've got our hands inside, hand on the hip like we normally do. We're going to be, if he doesn't have hardly any pressure on us, I just use a simple sliding shrimp and get my knee in and then finish replacing guard, right? If he has a lot more pressure, okay, again, I don't want to just shrimp straight up and try to create space here to get my knee in. Get your knee inside knee a little closer to mine, right? So I don't just want to bump straight up, okay? I don't want to bump into him. I want to try to displace his weight again. I don't know if you see how that knee moved, right? And then I'm able to get my knee in. Better angle so you can see this. Yeah, so come here. Come on. Oh, right there, fine, right there. Good. So, my hip, okay? Sliding shrimp, I'm not going anywhere, right? If I bump straight up, okay, and then I try to put the knee in, he's not going anywhere, right? But if I redirect his weight here, you see what happens to that knee? How it runs into my thigh here and moves? It's going to give me a split second to come in and put my knee in place. Did everybody see that? I can't see you right now if you're shaking your head, so give me an amen.
Amen.
Okay. Giggle and an amen. All right. But did you see the difference there? It's very slight, and it's probably something that you weren't aware of before, right? The other option that we might use from side control is if I have somebody who's really sticky, okay? And there's just, I'm having a super difficult time moving them, right? Or if I get my arm caught outside and I don't have a choice but to do this, okay? Now, I've always taken the position that having my arm here is dangerous, right? But you can use it as a calculated risk sometimes. Because when my arm is in here, I can redirect his weight. Now notice I'm not just redirecting his weight right into him, I'm redirecting his weight away from me, right? So he's putting shoulder pressure on me here, he's leaning his body this way. I'm just going with that here to redirect his weight. However, sometimes having this forearm in isn't quite enough. Sometimes I need to redirect his head as well. So occasionally I'll take a calculated risk, bring my arm out, or my arm gets trapped here, it really doesn't matter. So now when I bump into him, right, I'm throwing his head away as well, okay? So come this way a little bit, right? So I'm gonna redirect the head with the bump, here like this. And now I'm shrimping in. Okay? Just play around with that, kind of extend the arm and get a feel for that for a minute. And then I'll take any questions.
So, oh Lord.
All right. Good. I can't bear to watch anymore. That's beautiful. You guys are doing great. All right. So if I'm thinking about just like, ultimately, like I mentioned earlier, we want to create a flow pattern that you can kind of do, like maybe when you get out of bed, or maybe before you go to bed, or when you're injured, or when you're having a day where you're trying to recover, you know, just to kind of get your body moving, right? So far, I may forget something here, but we've got like moving our head, boom, bumping up, we're here. You know, maybe I just do for now a simple sit through and get back with an inside power shrimp here like this. And then maybe I do a sliding shrimp, right? And then maybe I come back and hook the arm. I tilt my head, I bump up, I go into another power shrimp. Maybe from here, I turn away as he's trying to take my back. Put my elbow in. Sit, right? Sit back down, okay? We're gonna add the scoots and reverse shrimp soon. You can also add the power shrimp where you're here and you're throwing the head over with it. One thing for most of you who've been learning from me for a long time too, I mentioned earlier the difference between having that back shoulder on your shrimp or your top shoulder surpass the bottom shoulder. So bear with me if I've illustrated this before. Let me show you the importance of that. Josh, come over here. If I'm shrimping, whether my hips are off the ground or not, go ahead and take your weight off me real quick. Okay. And my shoulder, can everybody see how my left shoulder or my top shoulder, right, at this angle? This is the angle most people likely shrimp at. I want you to put your hands on this shoulder. Okay, both hands. Okay. I want you to push my back to the ground. It's pretty easy for him to push my back to the ground. All right. Now, when this shoulder passes the bottom shoulder here like this, and he goes to push, it's tough. Stand up on your feet, Josh, and push. He still can't push me to the ground. I can't believe what I'm about to say, but a few inches make a big difference, right? So in that case, obviously just that slight angle of my shoulder, like totally changed the game, right? And a lot of people don't consider that when they're training. You know, they're just kind of shrimping. They don't really know where their shoulder is, and they wonder why they keep getting flattened out. Okay, you've got to get that top shoulder to surpass the bottom shoulder in order to really effectively do the technique. Okay, guys, questions for me on any of those? All right, we're gonna build on this on Wednesday. Tomorrow, we're gonna be doing like tomorrow at noon, I'm teaching as well. If you have a grappling dummy or you wanna get a blanket out, this is my sleeping bag. You know, if you have any way to put something solid in between your blanket, like some pool noodles or some sort of foam, it's gonna help. Or if you have a grappling dummy, jump in with that. Or if you have a partner, even better yet. We're going to be doing some drills with the grappling dummy tomorrow at noon, and then we'll be back to the solo drills on Wednesday night. Did anybody bring a rucksack or have a kettlebell? Want to do a quick workout?
I got kettlebells.
Robbie looks like he's ready. Computer.
I have a kettlebell.
All right, cool. Anybody else? You can do the workout without it if you want. All right. We'll modify it for you. Okay. If you gotta go, feel free to check out. I'm gonna run through, get a drink real quick. I'm gonna set the clock with the rucksack. A really good idea if you got a backpack around the house to weight it. Right, this probably has about 40 pounds in it. Okay. You know, so you can go anywhere from 10 pounds to 50, 60 if you want. You know, obviously it depends on the workout that you're doing, but this can serve as a really nice, you can take it out, rucking, walk for a few miles, stop in the park, do a bunch of exercises with it. It's really a nice exercise apparatus, and you can carry your beer in it at the same time. All right? All right, cool. Take a break, get a weight or something. If you don't have a weight, you can just go through the drill without it.
Put a book in it.
Another way to backpack. Josh says he worked out this morning. It's easy to say. Got the old man warm up. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, kettlebell swings, okay? So if you don't have anything weighted, I want you to do, just come here like this, and I just want you to do jump squats, like the last half of a burpee, right? The second exercise, we're going to do them 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, okay? The second exercise is going to be upright rows. Right? So if I have a backpack or a dumbbell or a kettlebell, I'm going to come here. If you have a heavier weight, just be sure to bend down a little bit and use your hips, okay? Or you can just muscle it up here like this. I like to use my hips so I get, you know, so it's a little more functional and it's a little more jiu-jitsu based, all right? The third exercise is going to be squats. So we're going to put this on our back, right? That's why it's better than a weighted vest. You could wear a weighted vest to do this part, but you can't do the kettlebells or the upright rows or a lot of other exercises with just the weighted vest, okay? Put it in the back. If you have a kettlebell, you can just hold it in the front and do a front squat, right? So now I'm here, right? We're just going to squat, okay? From there, we're going to do the next 30 seconds is going to be push-ups, right? If you're a monster, you can leave the weight on your back. I'm going to tell you right now, I can't do that with this weight for 30 seconds, okay? So I'm going to take it off and do push-ups, and then we're going to do sit-outs after that. So basically just here, right? And I'm just sitting through like this. Typical sit-through. If you got the weight on your back, go nice and slow. You don't want to get excited and tear your shoulders apart. If your shoulders are weak, you can also do that without the backpack on. Then we're going to do plank and bring our knees up. So we're going to be, you know, here in the plank position like this for 30 seconds. And we're just going to bring one knee up and the other knee up. Okay? And then we'll do that for 3 rounds. And there's an optional part of this workout. For those of you who can do it, it's a 400-meter run. So if you want to put your tennis shoes on after you're done and go hit a run, you do that. All right? All right, let's get ready. Cool. I'm just seeing who has joined us and who has left us. Matthew, Carrie. Oh, that's it. Carrie. All right, cool. All right, y'all. There's going to be a 10-second warning, and then we'll get going here.
I'll look at words. I'll look at words.
Ready? Get strong. Really keep your back straight when you're doing the kettlebell swings. Really push your hips forward. There you go, 3 seconds. 9. Pretty easy so far, right? Gets a little harder.
I'm tired.
Now we're going to be doing the upright rows, okay?
No shit.
Use your hips if you can. You know, if you want to just work out your shoulders, just use your shoulders. That's fine too. Got about 2 more seconds to press.
Oh, yes. I told you.
5. Get ready. Rows. Time. All right, backpack's on. Got one, which I know most of you don't. Do squats if you don't have a backpack. Your jump squats.
Jump one. Oh, I think that's great.
5 seconds. Go. Good. Time. Push-ups.
I know you're trying.
Three seconds. Go. Good. Time. Now we're going to do sit-ups.
No, sit ups. I can't do sit ups with that. I'm going to sit ups.
Nope. You don't have a weight, just go as fast as you can, sitting out. If you have a weight, slow it down a little bit. Time. Good. Now we're going to do the planks, knee to elbow. Ready? Go. Good. Got about go. What are you swinging, Ashley?
I don't even know. I had Alexa put some books in there, so
Nice.
pretty like.
I don't have stuff.
So it's okay. I wasn't prepared.
Time. Good. We're going to do upright rows. Ready?
And like other books. Science textbook. That's good because you're not.
Go. All right, keep up. Who else did they come up here today? Sean? You ready? Go. Go. You get him. Sit out. I'm confused. Hey, where's up there? Yeah. What did I say we're doing? Sit out.
Sit out.
Time. Go plank. Elbow. Two, one. Go. Good. All right, y'all. It's 8 o'clock. I got to roll. If you want to do more set of that on your own, kettlebell swings, upright rows, squats, push-ups. What's next? Hold on.
Sit-ups.
There you go. Yeah, squats, push-ups, sit-outs, and then the plank need to help. Guys have any questions? Any feedback? Anything you'd like to see different in the classes? I mean, we're all kind of doing what we can right now, right? Stay active and busy.
Yeah. Thank you, Lane.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it, Lane.
I do want to say, though, that, you know, you look back at any adversity in your life, in some way it made you stronger. So everything I've ever went through, it's either made me smarter, better, or stronger. It's never destroyed my life. Okay? So if you let adversity destroy your life, you know, it's going to be a long path to the end, right? You've got to let adversity make you stronger, smarter, or better. So through this process, let's get smarter by the way that we train our jiu-jitsu. We can't necessarily get in and roll all the time right now, but we can focus on fundamental details in those techniques that make all the difference when we're applying them on all the opponents, right? We can get stronger, we can lift weights. We can do it on our own, we can do it in our house, okay? And we can get better, combine those two things. And then now try to take that from jiu-jitsu to like every other area of your life. How can you get better, smarter, and stronger through this adversity? Whether it's saving money so you have some extra cash in the bank, you know, whether it's a relationship with your family or wife, or loved one, you know. You know, let's get smarter, stronger, better. Here. Close?
Close.
All right. Love you guys. Have a great night.
Love you too, Rob.
Oh, hey, hold on.
Yeah.
John. Comes out.
There, I love you.
Hey, what's up, man? What's up, man? I miss you, bro.
How you guys enjoying the cootie apocalypse?
Look, I'm actually enjoying it. So I'm waiting for somebody to rob my house, really.
Yeah, but you just clean up the game all day. What a sight. All right, I'm gonna go beat this bag up. See ya.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, nobody wants to hang up. That's sweet.
You hang up first.
I hang up first. So I'm going to be that guy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right, cool. See you guys.
Bye, Lane.
Bye.